This form needs to be filled out and mailed at least 30 days before the event. If it's going to happen in less than 30 days, then you click no and you explain why it's going to happen in less than 30 days. The owner information is already filled out. What you need to worry about is this information. What date do you want them to come and investigate? What date is the event? What date will the event be over? Your name and contact phone number. So if this is for a yard sale and the yard sale is July 6th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., then you would put down July 6th, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m., whatever time you want them to show up. And then down here, July 6th, July 6th, and your name and your phone number. The second page of this is already filled out. You don't need to worry about this. Even though it prints it twice, it's okay. And then when you're done, you need to save it as a PDF and email it to ar.request@maryland.gov. Or you can fax it to 410-333-7683. Okay, the other form that you need to get off the website is the pre-inspection form, and you need to fill this out. This is not a fillable PDF. You just need to fill it out. Whoever is letting the people in should sign to know what he's doing. You should sign because you inspected it, or if they inspected it, then they sign. And that's about it. Make sure you fill in our number for the bounce house. The other thing is there is a 20 amp extension cord in the shed, which is what you should use for the blower, simply because the blower can actually draw up to 13 amps. Although that will work with a medium duty extension cord, it would be safer to use the 20 amp extension cord. But that's it. This we just keep in our files. So we're going to set up the bounce house. These white tarps are important to protect the bottom of the bounce house from any little stones or sticks or whatever that happen to be in the ground. So these are the tools you're going to have. You got a mallet. You will have 4 1-inch by 18-inch stakes. You've got yellow stakes. They may not be yellow, but they're 12 inches long. You've got 10-inch stakes. They're red right now. You use the red ones for the blower, the 4 1-inch by 18-inch for the corners, and the 12-inch for any tethers that come off of the top of the bounce house. And this, you'll see, we're going to use this to take the stakes up.
So this is the opening that you open at the end when you're letting it vent out. So before you even begin to fill it, make sure you close it. Because once it's filling, it's really, really hard to close it. Now there are two fill ports. There's two fill ports. You only use one. So you just roll up the one that you don't want to use, and you tie it off with these straps. So the recommendation for the manufacturer is to actually begin inflating it before you start to stake it. I think that's just to make sure that you're not staking it too tight. To the right of where the bounce houses were are where the blowers are, as well as where the tool bag is going to be held. So this goes in here, this goes in here. Actually, this goes around here first, and then this has a flange to it. So you go in here, and you just tighten it up. It really doesn't have to be sealed because they actually want air to escape from a bounce house. That's why you constantly have the blower running. And then I kind of feel like it's a good idea to put a stake in at this point for the blower, but you can choose not to do that. I do it because I don't want to fall over while I'm working on this, but it also may not be in the exact position where we want it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just tapping it in for right now. So when you're putting this in, make sure you don't go through the bottom tarp. Pull this out, and manufacturers say put them in straight. Other manufacturers say put it in 45. I've actually leaned toward the straight because of one particular video I saw. It's important when you put this in, it goes all the way down so this is touching the ground. So you're creating its own circle. Doesn't have to go any further than that. If you notice, it's cockeyed right now because it's been cold and everything else. So that's why you don't want to nail this one in hard initially.
Yeah.
I just put one in so it keeps straight. But you need to keep this tube straight. So you need to move this in and move the tarp if you need to. And then you get somebody who's a friend of yours and he hammers it in. You notice the other vent, it's holding. I did tighten it up some, but it's holding. On this particular model, there are no tethers that come off the top. If there were, we would use the red stakes to tether them in, but I don't think that. In setting this up, we actually want to, the proper way would be to move the whole tarp forward so that when you set up the tarp, when you set up the house, put the house at the back of the tarp. So it's at the back edge. Because if we give this much room here, the kids who are going in take off their shoes and everything else and put them on the tarp. Otherwise, they're standing on the ground, and moms don't like that. So quantity of kids in this place, if they're under 8, you can put 8. If they're 8 to 12, you put 6. If they're over 12, you put 4. If they're adults, that also can be 4, but that's going to be fun. And try not to combine under 8s with over 8s, because the under 8s seem not to move as much as the over 8s, and they bump into each other and they get hurt. So now we are going to make sure it's empty, and we're going to take it down. Okay, everybody's out. We're going to deflate it. We're going to use this homemade deflator. It's based on the Excel deflator, but the Excel deflator only works on Excel blowers. Normally, we would open the flap that we closed earlier, which is the manual way to get all the air out. But with this, we're going to put it inside, and use the blower to suck the air out. It's pretty simple to put on. This is a 4-inch pipe, 4-inch adapter to an 8-inch adapter. Put it on so it's tight. This rubber strap is about 28 inches long. With the hooks, it's about 32 inches long. So when it dry rots and you have to replace it, that's the size you're looking for. If you're going to use bungee cords instead, you will need to use shorter ones because they aren't as strong as the rubber. We're going to slide this in. And we're actually going to try to slide it in into the house, because we don't want the vinyl to be clogging up all the holes that are in there. There you go. Now we'll watch the house. Now, and when you fold it in thirds, and you would fold this first corner to a third, then you fold this one over, if you can handle that. If not, then you'll disconnect the deflator, fold the other flap over, and then reconnect the deflator, turn it on while you continue to fold and roll. I think it was Archimedes who said, give me a lever and I can move the world. That's what this is. Okay, so these are the steps. Put them in. Any spires, any tall pieces, put them in the middle. So we're going to fold it a third, and then we're going to fold it a third, and then we're going to roll it. And it's got to be tight. Now we get our straps. And that's it. Thank you much.